Hello, Synchronauts, and welcome to another video from Mexxicamelot. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the solar partial eclipse of this October 25th, 2022 Gregorian calendar time. And I'm very happy to be here with you today and give you a little bit of information related to what's going on energy-wise in terms of the synchronometer of the Galactic Maya in relation to this amazing celestial event that is taking place in a few hours after I am recording this video. So just a reminder for those of you who might not be so sure about what is actually an eclipse or what is happening. In an eclipse, one astronomical object hides another. From Earth, we can see eclipses of the sun when the moon hides the solar disk, which is in this case, this part of this image that we can see over here, and of the moon when the stars is interposing in the shadow that the Earth projects in space. In this case, this particular image is showing us what kinds of solar eclipses we can see, because actually this eclipse is a solar one, a partial one. And so we can see that there are many different kinds of eclipses depending on the actual position of the moon, how it's going to be positioned between the sun and our planet. And so this is another image that I really like. It's a little bit larger, so we have a little bit of more clarity in terms of the image to explain how a solar eclipse happens. This is it. This is the sun. This is our planet Earth. And when the moon happens to pass in front of it at certain distance and angle, etc., then we're going to see that there is this shadow that is being projected onto our planet. And this is what causes this eclipse. And in the case of a lunar eclipse, it is actually our planet, which is in between the moon and the sun, creating this amazing, it's also very amazing celestial event. And this is sometimes called a blood moon because the moon turns to orange or red hues because of the movement of the Earth and the shadow that it creates in this natural moon of ours, which is actually one of the reasons why we are following this synchronic time, the 13 moons of 28 days in a solar year. So I wanted to share with you this image to show you more or less the two kinds of eclipses that we can see. And it's really magical and special because can you imagine that the moon had to be a certain size and be placed precisely at the right distance between the sun and us to be able to create this phenomena? And it's not really the same in other planets in our solar system. So I think it's very, very special. And it talks to us about synchronicity and how special our planet is, and also its companion, the moon, and also this dance between the different spheres that belong to our planetary system and how that affects us. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, the synchronicities we can find related to this particular eclipse. So this partial eclipse will be seen in much of Europe, Northeast Africa, and Western Asia. And in Spain, for example, it will be partial and visible in the northeast of the peninsula. Actually, we can see in this image that for example, part of Spain will be seeing this eclipse, but not all of it. Portugal, for example, will not see it. I will show you more images to illustrate better how this eclipse will look like, what the shadow will look like actually. And in this pink little line over here, we can see where it's gonna be seen the most visible part of this eclipse, and then it's gonna be fading from 80 to 60 to 40 to 20%. And obviously it's gonna miss many parts of Africa, but I will show you where this shadow will be touching because it's very, very interesting in terms of the law of time and the synchronicity, how that is related to the energy of the day tomorrow. So this phenomenon is a solar eclipse that will begin in the Atlantic Ocean over here. near the coast of Iceland, and it will come down all over here and end in the Indian Ocean. In total, it will last 244 minutes, just over 4 hours, and its maximum will be north of Nizhnevarstovsk in Russia. I might not be pronouncing this correctly, and I apologize, but I don't know how to speak Russian. And it is precisely in this place in Russia where 86% of the solar disk will be hidden. That is the maximum, the most percentage that it will be covered. And just also a reminder, we were talking a little bit earlier about moon eclipses, because an eclipse never comes alone. A solar eclipse always occurs after 2 weeks before or after a lunar eclipse. So in this case, this is what is happening on this day. This is the sun, this is the earth, and this is the moon, and this is what's going to happen. The moon is going to be covering the sun, and it's going to be casting this shadow over different places in our planet. And in a couple of weeks, we will have the opposite. The earth will be in the middle between the moon and the sun, creating a lunar eclipse. So usually, like in this instance, there are 2 eclipses in a row, but other times there can be 3 during the same eclipse season. So there you have it. This is interesting. So I will be coming back to talk more about the lunar one coming in a couple of weeks. But for now, just let's remember that this dance, this celestial dance, it's very interesting. They come together. The solar and the lunar ones always come together. And well, let's talk about synchronicities in terms of the 13th moon of 28 days. Right now, we are living in the self-existing moon of the owl, which is actually began on October 18th, and it will finish on November 14th. And this is the fractal, actually, of this year. This year is a year of the red self-existing moon, which is actually connected to the archetype of Morgana in Camelot and Avalon. And if you want to know a little bit more about these energies, you can contact me, and I can give you access to the yearly reading of this solar ring of the red self-existing moon. It's very connected to Camelot, just as last year was. So if you want to have access to that, you can send me an email, and then we can talk, and I can give you access. If you give us a donation, we're asking for a donation for this information so that we can expand and be bringing more free information here on our YouTube channel, and also on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page. So it's an investment, because you will get some more interesting information about how we're going to be navigating this whole year of the red self-existing moon, which began on July the 26th of 2022 and will continue until July 24th, 2023. So we began this moon actually, as I am recording this, it's this day, the day 7, but tomorrow, or in a few hours, we're going to be seeing this phenomenon of the solar eclipse, the partial solar eclipse, on day 8 of this moon, which is actually the heptad 14 of the year. It's the white heptad, the second heptad of this moon, which is talking about refinement. And in this case, as you can see, the king of this day is the actually again, and this is going to be a magic turtle day. I just noticed that we're going to have the same tone as the moon, self-existing tone. And in this case, it's the yellow sun. That will be the energy for this eclipse. So it's really interesting. We're having a solar eclipse on a sun day. But there are other synchronicities that I want to share with you right now. And just to note that we are actually right now in the wave spell of the red magnetic earth, the red earth. So the purpose of this wave spell is to attract evolution in order to transcend purification. So these 13 days are really, really full of energy, change, connection with the feminine, but lots of transformation, definitely. And something very interesting is that this is going to be a solar eclipse where the moon is we can see it vibrating here on the 13th stage of this wave spell. And so we're having the sun and the moon also present in this wave spell, and also the earth. We're seeing the three protagonists, which are the sun, the moon, and the earth during this wave spell. So I think that is really, really interesting and really, really special. And that if you can hear a little bit of meowing, that's my little Winnie Bear. She's here with me as I am recording this. Now I want to show you, this is the oracle for this day. So we have here the energy of the sun, as I was telling you. The guiding power is the yellow self-existing warrior, which is talking to us about intelligence, questioning, also this warrior-like energy. It's really, really interesting. The analog power, which is kind of like a best friend or like soulmate energy. We have the energy of the blue self-existing storm, which is talking about transformation and change. So this is going to be empowering tomorrow's energy. Then the antipode or the challenge is actually the white dog, the white self-existing dog, which is talking about giving form and shape to unconditional love. And this is really interesting because, as I was telling you, and I'm going to go back to the previous slide over here, these 28 days are marked with the energy of Morgaine, which is the red self-existing moon. And in its oracle, actually, the analog power of this year and of these 28 days is none other than this one. Again, it's fractally there, telling us we have to pay attention to this energy of unconditional love. But not only that, this is also the archetype of King Arthur. So this day, as the challenge will be to connect with the heart, and it's going to bring us to the occult power, which is the red planetary dragon, which is manifesting the birth of something new. So this is very important to notice because we're talking about deep transformation, bringing these energies of the storm, the challenges of the war, or being kind of in this intense energy of challenge with this warrior energy, but also the true challenge is none other than connecting with unconditional love to bring forth a new world. And as I was telling you earlier, we are in this wave spell of the earth, the red earth. The purpose is to attract evolution in order to transcend purification and healing. Also, the moon represents healing and connection to feminine energies. So this is very interesting. The oracle for this day, like the synchronicities, are really amazing. And I was very much, when I noticed this. And now let's look at this image. I want you to see where this shadow of this eclipse will be touching, in which parts of the world. Here we can see, this is where the shadow begins, where it says P1, then here's the maximum, and then here P4 is where it's going to stop, where it's going to reach its latest phase, and it's going to be ending. So this is the maximum. Then we have 80%, 60%, 40%, and 20% of the shadow. And as you can see, it's taking most of Europe, actually, most of Europe, a good part of all these Arabic countries, part of Asia, and obviously it's going to be touching Russia. So as we already know, when there is a solar eclipse, that means like the sun, the heat, the warmth of the sun, this energy is going to be paused in a way, or there's going to be coldness and there's going to be darkness. And I think it's a little bit also connecting with what's going on in Europe right now, this big energetic crisis due to the war with Russia, everything that's going on over here. So this is going to be even pushing harder and pushing further this idea that there's going to be a need for going inside. There's going to be cold weather. There's going to be a need to reconnect, to go inside because it's going to be chilly. So people need to get together and to bring this warmth of the sun. If we don't do it together, if we don't collaborate and we don't connect our hearts, then this crisis is going to go even bigger. And this might also explain, for example, what's going on in the UK in terms of all of this economic and political instability. It's the same, like it's all very, very connected. It's because we're being pushed toward toward changes. And something that is also very important to note, and this is according to my experience, what I've observed in the past few years, whenever we have a solar eclipse, the places where the shadow hits precisely, these areas are going to be showing us many social movements. So people are going to be like feeling the need to go out to the streets and to demand for their rights to be respected. They're going to demand for change. So it would be no surprise, and it's already began, what's going on in Iran, also in the UK, in other countries. We are asking for change. We need change. The system is no longer working. And so after this eclipse, it's going to be even more palpable, the need for change, and people are going to take probably to the streets and go and demand changes because what we are doing is not working. So all of these areas will be very, very much touched by this. It will be interesting to see in the following days and weeks, if not months, see how this will be manifesting. And here we can see these images from the NASA. We can see how this shadow will be moving throughout all of these areas that we've just mentioned. And also what I want to show you, this is from the website Time and Date. You can see like it's more clear where the shadow will hit. So let's check it out. You can see all of these areas in Europe where the shadow of this eclipse will be touching and how it's going to be impacting all of these parts. And I want you to pay attention to this because now I'm going to connect this information with the planetary holon. This is something that we talk about in the synchronic galactic Mayan calendar. We shouldn't call it calendar anymore because it's not a calendar, it's a synchronometer. We can divide the different regions of the world into different plates. So I want to show you, just as each day we have a different energy, also a different part of the world is vibrating with each one of these skins or these solar seal energies. And so this is very interesting. If we see this map along comparing with the shadows that I just showed you, how it will be touching for the eclipse, here you can see that it touches just a little bit of the plate of the eagle, but it's mostly going to be touching the sun. It's going to be touching a little bit of the warrior, just a little bit. It's going to touch a little bit of the earth. It's going to touch a little bit of the dragon and a tiny wee bit actually of the serpent part. But this is very interesting because if you remember, I'm going to change slide for a moment. If you remember here in the oracle, we have the energies of the sun, of this warrior, and of this dragon. And also remember that we have here this wave spell of the earth. So we will see that in this planetary holon, tomorrow will be activated the energy of tomorrow's skin or this skin's day, which is the sun, the guiding power, which is the warrior, the occult power, which is the dragon, and the power of this wave spell, which is precisely the earth, the red earth. So this is not a coincidence. This is a really, really big synchronicity to notice that all of the energies of tomorrow, they will be very, very active in the planetary holon, and they will be also activated by this eclipse. So we will be seeing in the next days, weeks, and months how people are going to be feeling this need for change, how people will be taking to the streets, or they're going to be raising their voices to bring order to this chaos, to connect with the heart. That's the challenge, and to bring the transformation of this term so that we can give birth to a new reality. So there you have it. Synchronauts, I hope that you like this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share here on our YouTube channel. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Well, TikTok, I haven't really uploaded much yet, but be waiting for some news in the coming days. We're going to be talking also about the new coming lunar eclipse as well in a couple of weeks. And if you want us to talk about any other of these topics, please let us know. You can send us a message or send us an email. We have all of the details here on the video. So thank you for being here. And well, let's get ready and see what this eclipse season will bring to us according to the synchronicities of the 13 moon synchronometer. Thank you very much, and we'll see each other very soon. Bye.